Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ayaryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Uvajjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Saranam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. Namah Samaysaraya Svanubhutya Chakasate Chit Sabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Saujayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Etirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangaryotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dhvani Divano Jina Kunda Dhvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vande Kahun Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Om Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamay Khare Kayanyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Natiyari Yamanet ज्ञान नति कारक नति वेदक अरे जाने जकर मोदय निरजरा बंदते मज मोक्षने ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम श्री सुधात्माने नमः जय जिनेन्द्र Today is November 7, 2018, Wednesday, and we are doing our class on Samaysar, and we are on 14th stanza on Samaysar, so we'll go further on that stanza. Before we go for the stanza, there is important thing I would like to talk today, and that is today is a Dipäwali day. What is significance of Dipäwali for Jains? We all know it's a Mahavir Nirvan Kalyanak Day. So everybody celebrates Mahavir Nirvan Kalyanak Day by early morning doing puja, etc. and everything. So I think we will take that opportunity today to do something about Mahavir Nirvan Kalyanak Day. In our temple today at 6 o'clock morning, actually most of the time in India it's about 5 o'clock morning. We did the puja and Mahavir Nirvana celebration at 6 o'clock morning, and some of the things that we went through, we can go through it, so that way it gives us some kind of glimpse that what is this Nirvan Kalyanak Day, how to celebrate, and all the things. Nirvan Kalyanak Day involves, of course, Mahavir Nirvan Kalyanak Puja, means Astaprakari Puja. So there are 8 substances, and you do the puja with the 8 substances. And then after the main part of puja is done, then we give the 5 org for 5 Kalyanak for Bhagwan. So Garbha Kalyanak, Janma Kalyanak, Diksha Kalyanak, Keval Gnan Kalyanak, and Moksha Kalyanak. And after that, the Jaimala comes, in which the Mahavir Nirvan Kalyanak Day's importance has been explained. And after doing that one, what it should be done is a Nirvan Kand Bhasha. Nirvan Kand Bhasha is one in which not only Mahavir's Nirvan that we celebrate, but there are also other entities in the universe that they also obtain nirvana. So we try to remember those places where Muniraj went to Nirvana, Bhagwan went to Nirvana, and the description comes, and it's a beautiful poem written by Bhaiya Bhagwati Das. So my wish is that we can play that one, and we will see what the meaning comes out of it. So first what we'll do is, I would like to go through the slides and give you the meaning of each stanza. So when we are listening to that stanza, it gives us kind of a understanding, and when there is understanding, then we become kind of a we have respect for that stanza and everything. So let me bring those things, and I will start that one. Okay, we will go. Let's see. Let me go slideshow. Okay, so this is the Nirvan Kalyanak. Well, let's go through all 5 orgs. Okay, so Panch Kalyanak org will be here. So first one, this is the Shubha Ashad Sukla Sastiko, means Ashad Sukla 6. Bhagwan came to mother's womb, so that's a conception event. Then we give the org for that. Then this is the birth event stanza. Then we give the org for the birth event. Then this is the Diksha Kalyanak, the initiation into monkhood event, and we give the org for that. Then we get the Keval Gnan Kalyanak, means omniscience event, and we offer the org. And last one will be the org for the Bhagwan's Nirvan Kalyanak. So we will sing that one, and we are, with a bhav, will be offering Nirvan Ladu. Instead of Ladu, we use over here walnut, whole walnut, and we offer that one because it's kind of difficult to dispose of that Ladu and everything and all kind of things. So we use that whole walnut. So I'll sing this one and then we'll just go further. कार्तिक कृष्ण अमावस्या को वर्धमान प्रभु मुक्त हुए, सादि अनंत समाधि प्राप्त कर मुक्ति रमा से युक्त हुए, अंतिम शुक्ल ध्यान के द्वारा कर अघातिया का अवसान, शेष प्रकृति 85 को भी क्षय करके पाया निर्वाण. It says Kartik Krishna Amavasya, and we are having the Aso Vad Amas. So why it says Kartik Krishna Amavasya over here? Because there are 2 types of calendars in the Indian system. One is a Amasant calendar, and other is a Purnant calendar. Means Purnimant calendar and Amasant calendar. Means when Amas comes to an end, the dark half of the moon comes to an end. That's the end of the month. And other one believes that when full moon comes, Purnimant, when the full moon comes, then the month ends. So according to that, Aso Sud Punam, which is a Sharad Punam, that means month of Aso ends, and then Kartik month starts. And Kartik month in a halfway is Kartik Krishna Amavasya. So that's what the most of the literature will say, Kartik Krishna Amavasya. When you are writing the invitation card for celebration of the temple, etc., then this calendar is used. The Purnimant calendar is used. So there will be 15 days ahead in each calendar, that way. So Kartik Krishna Vasya ko Vardhaman Prabhu Mukta huye. The Vardhaman Prabhu, he obtained nirvana on that day, and then Sadi Ananta Samadhi Praptakar Mukti Rama se Yukta hue. That means he started with the infinite bliss, unobstructed infinite bliss, and then he is going to remain engrossed in that infinite bliss forever. It starts and it remains forever. Unobstructed bliss starts and it remains forever. Then it says, Antim Sukla Dhyan ke dwara kar aghatya ka avsan. If you remember Sukla Dhyan, the Sukla Dhyan has 4 parts, and the last part going away on a 14th Gunsthana. So Antim Sukla Dhyan, 4th part of Sukla Dhyan, then he removes all his non-destructive karma, aghatya karma, and at that time 85 Prakriti out of 148 subtypes of karma, remaining 85 types of subkarma, he removes, and Bhagwan obtained nirvana. So that's what he said. Though what we are going to do is with a bhav, we are going to say, Om Rim Sri Kartika Samasyam Moks Mangal Prapta Sri Vardhaman Jinadra Argam Nirupamiti Swaha. So this way we offer the Nirvan Ladu to the Bhagwan. So now that is done, then we go for Jaimala. Jaimala is also describing Bhagwan's Nirvan Kalyanak and everything. It gives descriptions on all those things. And thereafter, Nirvan Kan Bhasha starts. Nirvan Kan Bhasha means different places, different living beings obtain nirvana, and that is being described. So we'll quickly go through a slide, and then we'll put the audio also with that thing. So first one is it's an introductory slide. Then it says Astapad Adiswa Swami. From Astapad, the Rishabdev Bhagwan obtained nirvana. Then Vasu Pujya obtained nirvana from Champapuri, and then Neminath Bhagwan obtained nirvana for Girnar mountain, and then Mahavir Swami over here obtained nirvana from Pavapuri, and remaining 20 Tirthankar obtained nirvana from Samaysar. And most of, I think all of us have visited all these places at least, so we have some idea. Then it says in Gujarat, it starts with the Taranga Tirth. In Taranga Tirth, in the Muninda and Sagar, it's etc. 8 crore Muni went to Nirvana from Taranga Tirth. So Taranga Tirth is very, very important in Gujarat. Then comes Girnar. On Girnar, Kodi Bahattar Aru Sosat. So 72 crore and 700 Muniraj, including Sambhu, Pradyuman, Kumar, Anirudh, etc. Those monks, they obtain nirvana from Girnar, along with Neminath Bhagwan also. Then Ramchandra ke Sut. Now this is Pavagad. From Pavagad, Ramchandra and Ramchandra, that are two. Let's see 1 second what it says. Ramchandra ke 2 sons, along with the 5 crore Muni, went to Nirvana from Pavagad. Pavagad is from near Baroda, and it's a very pious Jain heritage place. Then comes Satrunjay Tirth. Satrunjay Tirth is famous of course, we always say Adiswar Bhagwan and everything, but at the same time, there are three Pandav. Three Pandav, Yudhishthir, Bhim, and Arjun, they went to moksha from there. Sahadev and Nakul did not go to moksha, even though five brothers were doing meditation in the monk condition. And when they were in deep meditation, the Duryodhan's nephew came and said, "Oh, you gave trouble to my mama, so I'm going to teach you lesson." So he puts all hot, red hot iron ornaments. He puts on all these five monks, five Pandavas. Yudhishthir, Bhim, and Arjun remains in their engrossment state, and they were not bothered, so they obtained nirvana right there and there. Sahadev and Nakul, they had only one thought, that what happens to our brothers? That kind of thought alone, one thought alone, one reflective thought alone, and they end up going to Sarvat Siddhi for 33 Sagropam, and they will remain as angels for 33 Sagropam there, and thereafter they will go to moksha. So one kind of reflective thought alone made their moksha get delayed by 33 Sagropam. So those are the kind of things that we have to keep in mind. Then this comes in Maharashtra, there is a Gajpantha. It's in suburb of Nasik. It's a beautiful place there. And in a Gajpantha, what happens? Balbhadra and 8 crore Muriraj went to Nirvana from this place. So this is also very important place, Gajpantha. And then comes Mangi Tungi. There are two peaks are there. This is Mangi and this is Tungi. Mangi is a place where Muniraj did all their meditative stay, and Tungi is a place from where most of the Muniraj went to Nirvana. And this is the important thing in the sense that from here, Ram, Hanuman, Sugriv, Sudil, Gau, Gavakhya, Nil, Mahanil, etc. 99 crore Muni went to moksha from this place. So next to Samet Sikhar is Mangitungi, and Mangitungi is about 3-4 hours from Nasik. And if the time permits, when we go to India, we should visit that place, and it's an amazingly pious place that we can think about. Then Nang, Anang, etc. 5 crore Muni went to Nirvana from Sonagiri. Sonagiri is near Jhansi in Madhya Pradesh. And from there, it's a small hill is there. On the small hill, Nang, Anang, etc. 5.5 Muniraj went to Nirvana from that place. Then comes Reva Nadi. From the bank of the Reva, the Ravan's sons, along with the 5.5 crore Muni, went to Nirvana from that place. Then comes Siddharkut. Siddharkut is another place, and from there, 10 Kamdev and 3.5 crore Muniraj went to moksha from this place. Then comes Badwani. Badwani is also very important thing. Indrajit and Kumbhakarna, etc. Muniraj end up going to moksha from this place. This is a huge murti of a Rishabh Bhagwan into the mountain over here. That's a place worth seeing the place. Then comes Suvarna Bhadra. Suvarna Bhadra, Mani Bhadra, etc. 4 Muniraj. Chelna, there is a place called Pavagiri, and 4 Muniraj went to Nirvana from that place. Then Bali, Mahabali, and Nagkumar, etc. They went to from the Dronagiri, they obtained the nirvana. Then from the Astapad, so many Muniraj also went to the Nirvana place. Then this is very nice place over here. Achlapur means Muktagiri. It's in the center of the Madhya Pradesh, and it's so extremely surrounded by greenery and mountains and etc. And from here, 3.5 crore Muniraj went to Nirvana. Then comes Vansasthal. Vansasthal is with the two Muniraj, Kulbhushan and Dev, Kulbhushan and who is the other one? Kulbhushan and Deshbhushan. They went to Nirvana from this place. There is a story on this Kulbhushan and Deshbhushan that what happened that they were the prince of the king, and so from the young age they were been sent to hermitage, and so they were in ashram and everything, away from the palace and everything. So they grew up. Now they become adult. Both brothers became adult, and they are coming to the town. When they're coming to the town, on the balcony of the palace, one beautiful young lady is standing, and exactly the same time, both brother had an idea that I would like to marry her. And so they expressed the desire, and both brothers started arguing that who is going to marry her and everything, and they're about to fight. Verbal fight was to end in a physical fight. Then somebody came and says, "What are you fighting for?" "Well, we are deciding who is going to marry that beautiful girl." And the assistant to the king said, "You guys, do you know who is she? She is your sister." And knowing that one, their ego got dissolved, and they say, how can they make such type of sin? And so they both end up they both walked out of the kingdom, and they went to jungle and became monk, and thereafter they obtained nirvana. So that's a story from Vansasthal. Then in Kaling is there are King Dasrath has 500 sons, and also another lots of crores of Muniraj went to Nirvana from this place. Then the Resandigiri is another place where Parsnath Bhagwan Samarsan had come, and there are 5 Muniraj, Vardat, etc. 5 Muniraj went to Nirvana from that place. Mathura is a place that the Antim Sutakeli called Jambu Swami went to Nirvana, and this is beautiful. I think this is about 20, 30, 40, 50 feet, maybe 50, 50 feet plus the tall murti over here, and this is near Mathura station. If you end up going to Mathura, you should visit this place. That's very good. So then it says, I have described whatever thing information I had it, but in three world, upper world, middle world, lower world, wherever there are pilgrimage places are there, that I would like to just bow down, and I just want to make sure that I pray the omniscient Lord. So this kind of thing that Bhaiya Bhagavatidas wrote down, and that was wrote down in Samvat 1741, Asosud 10th. And so that's a whole thing about Nirvan Kant Bhasha. So that way we remember all the Muniraj and everybody who went to Nirvana, and we give homage to all of them while we are on this subject. So now, if you permit me, then I would like to play the audio, and there's a beautiful audio there, and it will be it will just be very appropriate for the day today. Let's see. Okay, so let me bring my audio 1 second. Okay.
भाव सहित सिरनाय कहूँ कांड निर्वाण की भाषा सुगम बनाए। अष्टापद आदिश्वर स्वामी वासुपूज्य चंपापुरी नामी नेमिनाथ स्वामी गिरनार बंदो भाव भगति उद्धार। चरम तीर्थंकर चरम शरीर पावापुरी स्वामी महावीर शिखर समेत जिन्हें सुरवीर भाव सहित बंदो निषदीर। वरदत्त राय रुचिंद्र मुनिंद सायर दत्त आदि गुणविंद नगर तारवर मुनि मुख कोड़ी बंदो भाव सहित कर जोड़ी। श्री गिरनार शिखर विख्यात कोटि 72 अरु 107 शंभु प्रद्युम्न कुमार द्वैभाय अनिरुद्ध आदि नभूत सुपाय। रामचंद्र के सुत द्वैवीर लाड नरिंद आदि गुण धीर 5 कोड़ी मुनि मोक्ति मंजार पावागढ़ बंदो निर्धार। पांडव 3 द्रविड़ राजा 8 कोड़ी मुनि मुखति पयान श्री शत्रुंजय गिरि के सीत भाव सहित बंदो निषदीर। जे बलभद्र मुकटि में गए 8 कोड़ी मुनि और हो गए श्री गजपंथ शिखर सुविशाल तिनके चरण नमो तिहुकाल। राम हनु सुग्रीव सुधील गव गवाक्ष नील महानील कोटि 99 मुक्ति पयान तुंगी गिरि बंदो धरि ध्यान। नंग अनंग कुमार सुजान 5 कोड़ी अरु अर्ध प्रमाण मुक्ति गए सोना गिरिशीष ते बंदो त्रिभुवन पतीस। रावण के सुत आदि कुमार मुक्ति गए रेवा तट सार कोटि 5 अरु लाख 50 ते बंदो धरि परम हुलास। रेवा नदी से वरकूट पश्चिम दिशा देह जहाँ छूट, द्वैचक्री दश काम कुमार, ईंट कोड़ी बंदो भव पार। बड़वानी बड़नगर सुचंग, दक्षिण दिश गिरि चूल उतंग, इंद्रजीत अरु कुंभ जुकर, ते बंदो भव सागर तर। सुवर्ण भद्र आदि मुनि चार, पावागिरिवर शिखर मंझार, चेलना नदी तीर के पास, मुक्ति गए बंदों नित दास। फल होड़ी बड़गाम रूप, पश्चिम दिशा द्रोण गिररूप, गुरु दत्तादि मुनीश्वर जहाँ, मुक्ति गए बंदों नित तहाँ। बाली महाबाली मुनि दोय, नाग कुमार मिले त्रय होय, श्री अष्टापद मुक्ति मंझार, ते बंदों नित सूरत संभार। अचलापुर की दिशा ईशान, कहाँ मेढ़गिरि नाम प्रधान, 3.5 कोड़ी मुनिराय, तिनके चरण नमोचित लाय। वंशस्थल वन के दिग होय, पश्चिम दिशा कुंथ गिरि सोय, कुलभूषण देश भूषण नाम, तिनके चरणनि करूं प्रणाम। जसरथ राजा के सुत कहे, देश कलिंग 500 लहे, कोटि शिला मुनि कोटि प्रमाण, वंदन करूं जोरी जुगपान। समवसरण श्री पार्श्वजिनंद, रे सिंधी नयनानंद, वरदत्तादि पंच ऋषिराज, ते बंदों नित धर्म जिहाज। मथुरापुर पवित्र उद्यान, जम्बू स्वामी जी निर्वाण, चर्म केवली पंचम काल, ते बंदों नित दीन दयाल। तीन लोक के तीरथ जहाँ, नित प्रतिबंधन की जय तहाँ, मन वच काय सहित सिर नाय, वंदन करहि भाविक गुणगाय। संवत 1741 आश्विन सुदी दशमी सुविशाल, भया वंदन करहि त्रिकाल जय निर्वाण कांड गुणमाल।
Okay, so this is the basically it was written. Let's see here. It says it was written in 1741 Samvat, and we are 2018 plus 56. 2018 plus 56. So 2074. So it was written in 1741. It's 2074 right now. So about 1741, 1841, 1941. About 200, 325 years back it was written, and so this is that older, I mean, it's about old, so old, 325-year-old stanza that it gives a really gives us the opportunity to visit lots of Nirvan Kshetra, where lots and tons, right, of crores and crores of Muniraj went to Nirvana. Now you have a question coming in the mind that in 6 months and 6 samay, 608 souls can reach to the moksha. And over here, when we say, for example, from Mangitungi, we said 99 crore Muniraj went to moksha. And 6 months and 8 samay, only 608 souls go to moksha. So how do we account for all these things? Well, remember, the rule is 6 months and 8 summers, 608 souls only go to moksha. So if you have 99 crore Muniraj went to moksha from there, then you can imagine how much time it took. So that kind of a thing that we have to think about. So having said that, if there is any question on this one, we can answer. Otherwise, we can go to the stanza 14. Anything?
Let's go to the stanza.
Yes.
Let's go to the stanza.
Okay. Then we will go to our regular class, which is...
I'm good too. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so here we are, and we are going to start from this slide. Slideshow, current slide. So we are start. This is a 14th stanza, as we say. It is giving us the information about the faith aspect. From faith aspect, it describes about pure point of view. We described in a detail about pure point of view in last week, and so now we are describing the pure point of view from faith perspective in this 14th stanza. Same things will be discussed in 15th stanza from knowledge perspective, and 16th stanza will be talking about faith, knowledge, and conduct perspective. So 14, 15, 16 stanza, they have relationship with each other. So those are the things we are going to talk. Now, what does it say over here? That eternal soul substance seen from different aspects. Remember, the one entity is eternal soul substance. We are looking from 5 different angles to this eternal soul substance. Means pure point of view in the mode gives the faith on this on the eternal soul substance from 5 different angles. What are those 5 different angles? There's a modes from the substance, means dravya apeksha. Now remember, this is very important coming over here, that the Gurudev has a very nicely described all these 5 things that it is very easy for us to remember. So from a substance perspective, it's been explained that me as a substance, is separate from the other substance of the universe. I as a soul is separate from the matter like body, etc. I as a soul is separate from medium of motion. I as a soul is separate from medium of space and time. So all 6 substances, I am the one unique of my own self. But for me, you as a soul are also non-soul for me, because my sphere of action is limited to my area only, and your area of action is your area, and you don't come in my area, vice versa, I don't come in your area. So from substance aspect, I'm separate from other substances of the universe. Then it says, now that you talked about substance, then there is a mode. Then in the modes, I don't know whether we went through it or not. On the other class, Tuesday class, we just started the mode. They are called Vyanjan Paryay and Artha Paryay. Means a shape modification and a substantial modification. What does that mean? A given mode, one mode originates in one samay, right? That we know it. One samay, one mode. Now, I have infinite attributes within me, and each attribute keeps on transforming every samay. So knowledge attribute will transform into knowledge mode. Faith attribute will transform into faith mode. Conduct attribute will transform into conduct mode. Bliss attribute will transfer into happiness mode, and so on and so forth. Now, all these attributes, they are going to have modes in one samay, but in one samay, that what I feel at this point is a composite of all the attributes combined together. So if I take this present mode into the lab and start dissecting it, then I can see there is a inseparability of the knowledge mode is there, conduct mode is there, bliss mode is there, perception mode is there, faith mode is there, etc., etc., etc. So we can find it out. Infinite attribute representing in a given mode in the form of a mode means one mode has an infinite things with infinite attributes representation is there. Now, out of all those infinite attributes that I have in the soul, I have infinite attribute present in the soul. They are divided into 2 parts. The shape modification attribute and substantial attribute. Shape modification attribute, substantial attribute. What does that mean? Shape modification gives shape to a given soul. I have this shape right now. When I was born, I was 20 inches tall. Now I'm 5 feet and 6 inches tall. So my shape kept on changing, and shape changing. When I eat a lot more and everything, I gain weight, my shape changes. I go on dieting, my shape changes. I lose weight. So those are the shape changing occurring. When I am right now in the form of a human and I have so much shape, and then in the next life I may become elephant, or I may become nigod cell. So if I'm going to become a nigod living being, I'll be having the very, very microscopic, smallest possible shape will be there. If I'm an elephant, it will be a very huge shape will be there. Or if I'm dinosaur, then it will be even larger than an elephant shape will be there. And when I become Siddha Bhagwan, then what happens? Siddha Bhagwan, Siddha Bhagwan has no shape, but actually what happens? The last human form, because moksha occurs only in human form. So when that particular soul who is a Muniraj, and if he's in a sitting position and he obtains nirvana, so his soul will have a shape of a sitting posture. Or if the Muniraj was standing posture meditation and then he obtained nirvana, then his shape of the soul will be in the form of a standing posture. That's why when we go to the temple, we see some murtis, most of the murtis are in Padmasana, means sitting posture. But there are also some of the murtis, if we see it, it's a standing posture, and the very famous one is a Bahubali murti that we see it, it was always in a standing posture. So the shape of the soul in the liberated soul will be the last human life that he has it. So, for example, the Rishabdev Bhagwan had a 500 dhanus. That is one measure of a length. He has a huge body. So his soul has that much amount of proportionate, that much amount of soul shape in the Siddhasila. And Mahavir Bhagwan was five dhanus tall, so that means his soul will have proportionately that much amount of shape in the Siddhasila. So those are the shape modification. So the shape, the one which decides about the shape, that's called shape modification mode, or it's called Vyanjan Paryay. Remember that name, because that name will be coming often off and on. Vyanjan Paryay means it decides the shape of a substance. And then there are Artha Paryay, means rest of the modification, rest of the attribute besides the extension to the space attribute. There are 6 types of common attributes are there. Eternal existence attribute, substancehood attribute, the vastutva attribute, then pradeshatva attribute, means pradeshatva gun, means extension into space gun. Then there is objectivity attribute, and then there is a aguru lagu attribute. So these are different types of common attributes are there. So this one is called pradeshatva gunni paryay. Pradeshatva gunni paryay ne vyanjan paryay kehવામાં આવશે. So that's a pradeshatva gun. So now remember more remaining modes, remaining infinite modes, they are called artha paryay, like knowledge mode, conduct mode, faith mode, bliss mode, etc., etc. All these infinite attributes mode, they are called artha paryay. So one only decides about the shape and everything else in the other side. So this both, the second and third point, they both are representing the modal aspect. First one was substance aspect, then 2 are the modal aspect, and the fourth one is from the gun apeksha, means attribute perspective. Divisional of attribute, infinite attributes are in the indivisible state in the soul substance. So when we are looking at the eternal soul substance, from divisional aspect of attribute means gun apeksha. And the last one will be deluding mode, giving rise to misery and thereby infinite transmigration. That's called bhav apeksha. Means I have a inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion, and this rag and dvesh type of modes, they give me karma bondage, and then they give me the different life, and I keep on going in transmigratory life forever and ever and ever. So those are the 5 different aspects we are going to see. Now, so one said dravya apeksha, vyanjan paryay apeksha, artha paryay apeksha, gun apeksha, and bhav apeksha. Now, Gurudev goes in further detail to all these things. And he says that That means this is from Dravya perspective, substance perspective. This is from Kshetra perspective, area perspective. This is from Kal perspective, means time perspective. This is called Bhav perspective, means infinite attribute perspective. And this is called Bhav perspective. So, Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav, Bhav, 5 things that will be discussed in this stanza. Dravya will be the first one, Kshetra will be coming second, Kal will be coming third, Bhav will be fourth, and fifth will be Bhav. Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav, Bhav. So 5 different aspects we are going to do the description of eternal soul substance and how it is separate from those different states. Any question on this slide? Because this is very important. Now that we go to detail and go into further detail, I don't want to have I don't want to have you get lost in these translations and all the things, and then they say, wait a second, so much details is coming. Where am I right now? We'll be talking number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, one at a time, 5 points we are going to describe. So those are the things that we have to understand. So if there is a question, please let me know. Otherwise, we can just continue going further. Okay?
The first one,
Any question here?
Yes. So the first one makes sense. It's the apeksha is the same thing as the perspective. So
silence. So
can you hear me? Hello.
I suppose. Okay.
Hello.
So Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav, Bhav, or
Hello?
substance, area, time, attributes, and inclination perspective. This is called substance perspective. This is called area perspective. This is from time perspective. This is from attribute perspective, and this is called transmigratory, different kind of lives that I went through. So those are the 5 things we're talking. Now, having said that, let's see the next slide. Okay.
Hello?
Soul in the modal state. What does soul
Kirit uncle, Kirit
it's
uncle,
bonded with material karma.
Kirit uncle, hello.
Kirit uncle. Is he muted?
We are using this kind of thing because that's our first point. Remember,
Do it by raising your hand. Do you know how to do that?
Point in that one.
I don't think he's paying attention.
It's from other substances. I'm separate. That kind of information means I'm bonded with material karma. Material karma is a matter object, and I'm bonded with that. The material karma come and
I think you have to text him.
they stay with me for long time, and then they give fruition, and then they disappear. One second. Yes.
You have this all on mute.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I'll unmute. Okay, bye. Yeah, Ankit told me that everybody's on mute, that's why they cannot talk, Okay, unmute.
Can you hear us now?
Unmute. Okay.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Let's see. Okay, so
Your uncle?
I have relationship with the matter substance. Matter substance. I'm the soul substance. So I'm bonded with matter substance and physical body, etc.
I don't know. Kirit uncle.
Can you hear me, Preeti? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you.
Physical body, etc. And third layer is my house, my family, my business, my money, my car, etc., etc. 1 second. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that's the reason. Hold it.
Kirit uncle? Can you hear us now?
Okay. Now, did you hear me at all, or did you not hear me at all?
No, no.
So far.
Kirit, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello?
Kiritanko, we can hear you, but you cannot hear us.
You know what? I put mute because my audio started, so I had to put mute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Kirit, we heard everything you said.
Okay.
But you can't hear us. So now can you go back to the slide where you had the Dravya, Vyanjan,
Yes.
the Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav,
Yes.
and Bhav. Go back to that.
Let me bring this. Yes. Okay. Yes. Here.
Okay, so it seems to me that this is an organizing slide. Now, here's what I'm understanding it. I'm just trying to understand some of the words, though.
Yeah.
The first one is easy because the Dravya in the Apeksha is the same as the ultimate purpose, which is Dravya.
Yes.
For the second one,
Dravya means as a substance, I'm separate from the other substance.
I got it. No, I get the purpose that the Atma is separate from Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav, and Bhav. I got it.
Yeah.
My question is, Vyanjan. Does Vyanjan mean the same thing as Kshetra?
Yes. Vyanjan is same, Kshetra.
And Arth?
Arth means rest of the attributes except the Pradeshatva Gun. All the attributes, all the infinite attributes without the Pradeshatva Gun, without the extension into space attribute. So you take infinite attributes and take one Pradeshatva attribute out, this extend into the space attribute out, and rest. The rest will be called Arthaparya.
Then how do you get that? How do you get Kal out of that? Then how do you get time out of that?
Because what it is, they have modes of this one, modes of all the attributes will be coming one at a time, right? So these two things are related to the modes. One is the shape, my present shape as a human, maybe animal, maybe infernal, maybe celestial. So these are the different shapes, but they are from the shape perspective, from the extension into space attribute, Pradeshatva Gun. But rest of the modes I'm getting every moment. My knowledge is too sharp, my knowledge is dull, my conduct is increased, my conduct is lousy right now, and all those modes are coming from the rest of the attributes. So that's why it is called Kal there. You know, it's a one Samay modes. That's why it's called Kal there.
Okay, fine. And then how do we come to the connection between Gun and Bhav?
Bhav usually, see, word Bhav will be used at many different places in many different perspectives. Bhav can be used in the substance also. Bhav can be used in the attributes also. Bhav can also be used in the modes also. Bhav can also be used in the impure modes also. So substance, mode, pure modes, impure modes, everywhere Bhav Sabda can be, a Bhav word can be used. So right now, when we use the Bhav over here, Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav, Chatushtay, remember the quaternary,
Yes.
Substance, area, time, and attribute. So this is what it is: substance, area, time, and attribute. So those are the things, are the four.
You mentioned that for the Karan and Karya, right? That the Karan for Karan and Karya, correct?
Yes, Karan will be your attribute and Karya will be your Bhav. Or no, means Bhav means attribute over here. There is no Karan Karya here. Karan Karya, if you want to say, you can put in a modes over here, but this divisional aspect of attribute, I'm separate from it. That's what to explain that he says from Bhav Apeksha, the soul is separate.
Okay, no, what I was thinking about is the last time we encountered this, I'm just trying to think about what I said. Okay, I think maybe the discussion was how one Dravya can only affect change in itself.
Yeah.
Now, for
Then
example,
what we
all right.
will
So my
yeah, go ahead.
my Atma Dravya
Mhm.
and my my Shraddha Gun,
Okay.
every pariyai in my Shraddha Gun,
Mhm.
only I can, like,
I can change. You can
only I can
your
change
control on
every,
it.
right, only I can have control over every Shraddha pariyai, every pariyai in my Shraddha Gun, correct?
Yep.
Now the reason why is because it's the same Dravya,
Mhm.
the same Kshetra,
Yep.
the same Kal,
Yep. And
and
same.
let's just say one pariyai. Let's just say one pariyai.
Yeah.
Same Kal and same Bhal. So in that case, the Bhal is the
Attribute.
Gun. Is my Shraddha Gun.
Yes. So gun means attribute.
Right. So when you say quaternary, that means, like,
Yeah.
what you say. Are you saying that it's a quaternary because we're referring to, like, this is how we refer to substances, right? Dravya, Shitra, Kal, Bhal.
So these four guys are called quaternary. Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav.
So it's the way we describe something happening.
Yes. Yeah, whenever you say swakshetra, swakal, swabhav, swadravya, swakshetra, swakal, swabhav, when we talked about that I have a quaternary, that means it is self quaternary of area, a substance, area, time, and attribute.
So that means that anything that happens has to have these four
Four things.
characteristics.
Yes, and that will be within me only. So think any possibility. Let's say that right now I am getting angry. Let's put it that way. So where is that anger coming from? Well, I am the reason for putting anger, but where actually anger came from?
So it's in my soul dravya,
Soul dravya,
within the shita occupied by my soul,
my soul,
within the time period that's attributed to that pariyai.
that particular
That
moment.
pariyai is occurring in my virya gun.
My of a conduct attribute, but it's an altered mode of the conduct attribute.
Right.
So everything you think is occurring in these four things only within me. So when I say that I became angry because of that guy, because of that situation, no, that's not true. It says because you are the buck stops at me.
So where does the fifth one come from? Where does the fifth one enter into that then?
Which one? Fifth one. So
Yeah.
in this 14th stanza, when the 5 points are taken, then he is also Gurudev is also putting bow. Bow means infinite transmigration. I have it because of what? See, this one is a substance, and we'll just say why that substance from other substance I'm separate. Then it will just say that the Pradeshatva Pradeshatva pariyai for different substances, then rest of the attributes, then the modes from the rest of the attribute, and these can also be considered a pure mode, but this will be deluding modes. So substance, mode of the area mode, rest of the attributes modes, a lot of infinite attributes, and deluding modes. So it's putting deluding mode is a reason for my transmigration. So in 14 stanza, particularly 14, 15, 16, particularly, Gurudev is using 5 things: Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav, Bhav.
Okay.
Sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the crux of that slide, that we have to keep idea. We have to understand how it, because once we start talking each one, then we go in detail about those things. But then we don't want to lose this track of these 5 things. One at a time they'll be coming, and we'll be talking about that. First, the Acharya Bhagavan gives the example, and then he gives the principles. So in all 5 things, he's going to give example and principles. Okay. So let's go. Okay. Any other questions so far here?
No.
Okay. Let's go next. Okay. We did this one already. We had done this one last week, so I'm just going to go quick over here. Then, okay, so that's what we talk right now. Okay, now, soul in a mortal state, bonded with material karma means I am tied up with the material karma because material karma is sticky. They stay with me, and the longest thing staying with me is material karma. Let's say I become Siddha Bhagwan tomorrow morning. Till tomorrow morning, from time infinite in the past, all this material karma were sticking to me. So that's one which is remaining with me forever. Physical body is also there for a longest time, but physical body keeps on changing. I'm human, I'll go to animal, I'll go to infernal, I'll go to celestial being. So physical body keeps on changing, but material karma, they remain stuck to the soul. And when I die over here, when a person dies presently over here, then the physical body gets separated from the soul. But the soul still has a karman sharir. The karman body means material karma are along with the soul transit from one place to other and then takes birth somewhere else. So that's why material karma is bonded and physical body is touched. So abadda spasta, that word will come. Abadda spasta. Soul, Atma, abadda spasta che means it is not bonded, it is not touched. So that's what it is. So in the mortal form, soul is bonded and soul is touched by physical body. Then presence of inclination of attachment. There is an inclination of attachment is present, means I have rag and dvesh mode occurring within me. Then soul in the mortal state is having manifoldedness. Manifolded means there are infinite attributes present. Let's see what's the fourth one coming. Yeah, there are infinite attributes coming in the soul, and so there are. If you talk from the modal perspective, then we see many things. I could be labeled as an angry man, or tomorrow I can be labeled as a pious guy, or third day I could be labeled as a crooked person. So manifoldedness from modal perspective. Then in mode also, there are 6 types of increase and decrease occurs, and that will be coming in the later part. I have the slides on it. I don't want to jump to that slide right now. We'll talk that one when it comes. Keep that one in mind right now. Then divisional aspect of the attribute is there, and they are modal state, thereby transient in nature. All these things are modal state, and so when they're modal state, then they're transient in nature. And they are present. It's not denied. Their presence is not denied, but compared to indivisible, eternal soul substance, these modal states are transient in nature, and that's why they are being considered as a not true state, even though they are present within me, but they are called non-true state. It's called abhutarth. True state is called bhutarth. So I have eternal soul substance remaining forever and ever and ever. So
we saw this word, right? We saw this word in
11th stanza, yes.
11th stanza, yeah.
Yeah. So that one is a modal state. Compared to the eternal self, these changes are non-true states. So they are modal state, they are transient in nature, so they are present. So from the modal aspect, they are called true state, but when we are compared to the eternal soul substance, then they are called non-true state. So some people, some philosophies, they don't believe modes at all. So they said there is no more. The soul is a stable and a non-doer, and that's it. So if soul is non-doer and stable, then why do I have to do any kind of things? What happens? How can I do different activities if there's no modes present within me? So Jain philosophy differs vastly from other philosophies, and these are the things. These are the reasons for that. Okay, let's see the next one. So student again is asking question that listen, in the soul there is a bonded and touch or baddha spasta situation is there. Then second is soul is having different types of realms of existence, means soul has anyatva. Then third thing, soul is transient, means anitya. Fourth is a soul having different attribute, means vishesh. And last one is soul is connected and combined, means sanyukta. So 5 things are there. Those 5 things that we talk, dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, bhav. Same thing, they are different words we are using over here, that in a modal state, I'm bonded with the other substances. I'm touched by the other substances. In a modal state, I have different realms of existence, means I end up getting different shapes. I could be an elephant shape, or ant shape, or bacteria shape, or siddha shape, whatever. Or I'm transient, means by my mode is a transient in nature. So my soul in the modal state is transient. Then soul also has difference of attributes. That is the modal state attributes differences are perceived, but in reality they are none. And last one is connected or combined, means sanyukta, means I have a rag and dvesh. I have an inclination of attachment and aversion, and because of those things I am connected with the karma, and because of karma fruition I join with them, and that's where I feel happy or unhappy, and that's why I end up getting to different transmigratory living being all the time. So student says that I understand that part. I understand what you're talking so far, but my question is, now this is the $1 million question student is asking, that these 5 things are modal state and I accept that one, but then how to experience the eternal soul substance? If from time eternal, I'm in these shapes, or I'm going in these 5 things all the time. So how can I experience eternal soul substance? That is his question. That's a question that is being asked in the 14th stanza by the student to the teacher, to the enlightened monks. So here comes the answer that Gurudev over here, while he's expanding this one, he gives the one Srimad-ji's poem, which is a Yam Niyam. Yamaniyam Sanyam Apakiyo Punityaga Viraga Athagalayo Vanavasaliyo Mukhamonarayo Drada Asana Padma Lagaya Diyo Manapona Nirodha Swaboda Kiyo Hatha Joga Prayoga Sutara Bayo Japa Bheda Jape Tabatyo Hitape Urasehi Udasilahi Sabape Sabasasrana Kenaya धारी लिए मत बंधन खंडन भेद लिए वह साधन बार अनंत कियो तदपि कछु हाथ हजू न रयो. So this Srimadji wrote down this poem very early age, I think before his 20 year of age. He wrote down that I had done so many things. I had taken vow for life, lifelong vow I have taken, that's called yam. I also have shorter vows I have taken, that's called niyam. Then I have observed renunciation and stayed in a silence for a long time. I stayed in a meditative posture for a long time, became passionless and indifferent toward the worldly object also. I remembered the scripture by heart, argued with the other on philosophical topic with my intellect, performed above acts infinite times in the past, but I did not realize this soul. What's the reason? Tadapi kachu hath hajunara vah sadhana bar ananta kiyo, means I had done all these things for infinite times in the past. How come I have not realized my soul substance? That's a question Srimadji puts in front of us, and same question is student is asking over here, that how come I'm not able to experience a soul substance, or how to experience a soul substance. So having this having said that, now Now Gurudev says, here comes the answer, that first one ends up knowing the modal aspect of transiency. You understand that you have a transient nature. The transiency is there. Means all your thought process, all your anger, deceit, ego, greed, likes, dislike, ignorance, all those things are transient because there's a modal state, and mode lasts for one samay. Mode lasts for one samay. One king was losing a lot, and so he went to one saint, and then he said, how can I do, what can I do to regain my kingdom and everything? So Muniraj said, you put your effort, put your army together and go and fight, and you will win. But then Muniraj said that I'm going to give you a piece of paper that you hide it with you, and not now, but when your time is good going on, at that time you take this piece of paper out and see what I have written down there. So this king gets a renewed energy and everything, and he collects his army and everything, and again he wins his kingdom, and now the best days have started for him. Everything, all the luxury and money and whatever he had comfort, everything restarted again. And then he remembered that monk that he has given that cheat to him. So he opens that piece of paper, and it was written, this too won't last. When bad things were going on, it won't last, but the good things also won't last forever, because it's a modal aspect. So one has to keep in mind that's a modal aspect. If I have a misery going on, it's not going to last forever. It appears that it's there forever and ever and ever. But if I put my proper effort, if I take attention away from there, try to look for a solution, then my misery can come to an end. Because the modal states are not eternal in nature, because they are not eternal in nature, that's why those states are untrue state, because they're transient in nature. That's why it's untrue. Even though they are there, but they're transient, that's why it's untrue state, or it's called abhutarth. Then one gives up the attention towards this modal aspect. I have an attention right now, I'm angry, I'm egoistic, I'm a crooked guy, I have a rag, I have a dvesh. Those are modal aspects. So Acharya Bhagavan says, take attention away from this modal aspect. So once you take the modal aspect, take attention away, then bring attention to the eternal soul substance, which is the true state, which is a bhutarth state. So attention to the eternal soul substance is again the crux of the whole Samaysar. How to bring attention to the eternal soul substance. Different aspects will be discussed and everything. So 14, 15 stanza, there are 5 different aspects of Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav perspective, they have been described. Then this produces experiencing of the eternal self. When the student asks the question that how can I experience the eternal soul substance, then Acharya Bhagavan says, take your attention away from the modal aspect, and once your attention is taken from modal aspect, then it will be going to the eternal soul substance. And once you do that, that's a true state, and that means you are going to experience bliss with the knowledge. So this is the way it tries to explain to us what is the next way to do it. We'll take one more slide, I think, if we can. To experience the eternal soul means the right faith. Means one does not need, see now it's positive, negative, 2 aspects it will be discussed. One does not have to have dependency on the alien object. Do I want to have eternal soul, experience of the eternal soul substance? That's what the student is asking question. So Acharya Bhagavan says, you don't need to have dependency on the alien object, or also on a conventional form, or also on the inclination of attachment, etc. state. So alien objects, you take your attention away, and conventional form, you take it away, and means alien objects, and alien objects is more. That's a conventional form. I love this phone. What is this phone? It's 1 year old phone. I need, so it's a mode of that form for phone. So object and its mode, you take attention away, and as a result of object and its mode, you also inclination of attachment occurring. So you take it away from it. Once you take it away, then one need to bring faith to the eternal true states of the self, and that's the way one is going to get the experiencing of the soul. So just by taking attention away doesn't mean anything. I took the attention away, but then I don't know who am I. I don't know the true state and everything. Then I'll get confused, because now I don't have these things and I don't know what it is. And then it produces lots of confusion. So one has to know from negative perspective, what are the things I should not be doing it, and also from positive perspective, what should I be doing. So those are the things one has to keep in mind, and once we keep in mind, then we can start going. And now Acharya Bhagwan is going to go all those 5 points one at a time. He's going to describe in detail. Any questions so far? Yes.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay. If there is no question, then we will just do the closing. Okay. Javani ke gyan se suje lokalo, so I mastaka namo sada deta hu. 9 times Namo Mantra. Namo. Jai Jinendra.
She's in.
Michai Dukram, thank you.